The SP-404 Mark II is an indispensable music-making tool. You can combine it with just about any other piece of gear and wind up with some form of musical expression. Today we're going to do that with the Korg Monotron Delay. But before we get into it, today's patron shoutout goes to Daniel N. Harris. Thank you so very much for the support. Let's get started. So my goal today is to show you how to take something like the Korg Monotron Delay and actually wind up with like a drum beat or some sort of percussive pattern on the 404 Mark II. So let's go ahead and turn on the Monotron Delay. Let's turn on external source. As you can see, I've got the output of the Monotron Delay going into the input on the back of the 404. Let's hold down on the little touch strip, turn up the cutoff. And yeah, we can hear it. Awesome. You may notice that there's some reverb. And I actually have that set up. If I go to Shift and Effects settings down here, I actually have the input effects set to reverb. So anything going into the input on the 404 is going to pass through a little bit of reverb. But I also have the input bus set to bus 1, so any of my bus 1 effects will also affect the incoming signal. That's going to help for resampling. So let's actually go ahead and try to make like a kick drum. So to do that, we can pretty much send any signal we want through the SP-404, but we want to use a filter to control those frequencies. So let's pick a different filter. Let's actually pick the super filter. So I could just sample this and start affecting it, but if we go to our filter and drive effect, and then crank up the drive, I feel like there's something there we could use. I really like that hit when I release it. That's pretty cool. So let's sample that. Okay. I'm going to turn off the external input. Now let's go in and edit our sample here. So the first thing I'm going to do is normalize it so we can actually see what we're doing. There we go. And we have a pretty good idea of where we want to start. Oh yeah, this is going to be sweet. We can zoom in. I like that right there. Yeah, and then we can truncate it. So now that is the sample. We can actually go in with Shift and pitch speed to get to our little envelope setting. Turn off gate. There we go. From here we can apply something like our super filter. Whoop, that is not what is there. There we go. That's pretty cool. Just adjusting the cutoff to get a kick drum sound. If I like something I played there, I can actually click mark, and the 404's been listening that whole time. So we can go down to the end here. Yeah, that's a great kick drum. So let's go ahead and zoom in here. Oh yeah, cool. And depending on where we put the starting point, we can hear we've got a couple different types of sounds to choose from. We can actually get a clickier kick drum, or if we take it off the front a bit, a little more. There we go. We can get something not quite as clicky. I don't really like clicks in my kick drum that much, so I'm going to truncate this just like this. Let's go ahead and record this. We'll put it on pad 2. Nice. Now we could instantly go ahead and sequence that, or we can try and get some more percussion going. So let's do that. Let's bring our external source back on here, and let's play with some effects. Let's use the crusher again. One of my favorite techniques is to adjust the rate. And then the filter as well, and just find something in there that I like for a percussive element. Once again, I'm going to normalize the whole thing on the skip back sampling. And we're going to zoom in here. And we can just get as granular as we want here. Let's just take this right here. I'm just making a quick video. You get it. There's tons of effects. There's tons of ways to get these sounds going. We can even run this through a high-pass filter. And we can resample that. Now we have a little variance. And we could actually sequence that pattern, or we can resample it to a pad. So let's do that. We'll hit resample. We'll put it on pad 5. Let's pick our BPM. We'll go 140. Okay. See how good my timing is. Okay. Fingers crossed. Okay, that's all right. Now that's obviously not the best thing on the planet, but I didn't put very much time into it. Remember, a lot of these videos, I'm just trying to show concepts. I'm not spending hours and hours and hours diving as deep as I could. I'm just trying to get you, into like a creative process that works for you. So I like to show as much of a variety here as I can. I'm also not very good at sound design. I'm the first person to admit that. So again, these are just more to show you kind of like what's possible and just barely scratch the surface of what you can do. And then feel free to dive in as deep as you want. Speaking of diving in deeper, though, let's grab the bass guitar, run it into the guitar input, and see what we can do over this little percussive pattern. All right, I've got my bass guitar plugged in. I'm also not a bassist. I'm a drummer. I'm a professional drummer. That is what I actually do. I'm not an electronic musician either. I don't really claim to be. I'm just exploring this world and having so much fun in it. Now I've actually gone into the input effects and turned them off. I don't want reverb on the bass guitar. All right, so now let's re-trigger our little loop here. I'm pretty sure that note on the kick drum is an F. I've been working on my pitch training, and I think it's an F. I was right. Yeah, I'm not a bass player. So now let's come up with a little bass part to throw over this. So I'm gonna go right here. We'll go 140. 140. Let's go for 4 measures. Okay, that actually seemed to be decent. Let's have a listen to both at the same time. Oof, that's rough. That's just bad timing on my part. There we go. Put this on bus 2. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Let's sequence these two in a pattern now, actually. And that could be a pretty cool way to maybe solo something over the top with like the guitar amp sim effect. That could be cool. So we're going to go to pattern 1. We're going to go BPM 140. We're going to go length 4 bars long. We're going to hit 4 bars, damn it. There we go. We're going to hit remain so it goes to TR sequencing. And now we have our sequencer running here. And we can grab our 2 samples. All right, here we go. Clearly they are a little bit out of sync, so instead what we're going to do is go back into this pattern. We're going to undo the sequencing of our drums. And we're going to re-sequence it pretty much. So we're going to go back to pattern 1. We're going to record into it. TR rec is still on. Yeah, we're at 4 bars long. So now we're just going to go through. We're going to start it. We're going to grab that main sequence, put it on the downbeat of each measure. Grab our kick. There we go. Grab our little hi-hat thing. There we go. Now let's go into our effects settings and set the input effects to Guitar Amp Sim. Oh man. I'm not good at soloing an F at all, so bear with me here. I guess I could probably pitch this up a half step, but we'll just leave it like this. This is kind of fun. What else do we want to be running through? That sounds pretty cool. The 404 is so freaking cool. I could just get lost in playing this stuff all day. Let's do some reverb here and just see what this sounds like. Enjoy this strange outro jam. Whoops. There we go. I'm not used to playing an F. That was a lot of fun. Yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I certainly did. See, the 404 is just, in my opinion, indispensable because how else are you going to have a jam like that, really, that kind of organically developed, starting with a Korg Monotron Delay and ending with playing a guitar solo on a bass guitar. All on hardware with no computer. And by the way, just in case you were doubting that I was actually playing the bass, here is my bass with some very dirty strings. I need to get these strings replaced. Badly. Anyway, I do hope you found this video informative or at least entertaining. If you did, be sure to leave a like on it. If not, you can always leave a dislike. That's okay too. Doesn't hurt my feelings, just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Thank you all so very much for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.